Surrey is about to pass Vancouver as the biggest city in British Columbia. But right now, it's a construction zone with a hospital nobody can use yet. I'm Scott Moe, and today I'm showing you what living in Surrey is really like in 2026. The good, the bad, and the ugly. I've been selling homes in the Fraser Valley for over 23 years, and I've never watched this many things break and improve at the same time. Let me show you why Surrey is going through some growing pains. There's a version of this city that still lives in people's heads, and it's about 10 years out of date. That version goes like this. You couldn't afford in Vancouver, so you came out here and you got more house for your money. Well guys, those days are gone. Detached homes in Surrey have been selling in the 1 to 1.5 million range, down from about 1.5 to 2 million only a few years ago. Townhomes are lower priced, but they're by no means priced for first-time buyers. Depending on the size and where you are in the city, you're looking at the $700,000s and up towards the $900 to $1 million range. For a young family trying to get into their first place, that's a tough reality check. That being said, something shifted in the buyer's favor. Inventory across the Fraser Valley has been running well above what we normally see this time of year. And prices have also cooled off from their 2022 peak. And keep that leverage in mind when we get to the schools, because what happened in Surrey classrooms this year blindsided the whole district. But let me answer an important question before we get to that. What does all that mean for you on the ground? Well, sellers are negotiating. So you can ask for an inspection, ask for a longer completion, ask for a price drop, and nobody's gonna think your offer is out to lunch. 2 years ago, you were writing subject-free offers over asking and just hoping. And if you're selling, the flip side is that pricing sharp matters more than it ever has, because your buyer has options they didn't have back then. So the price on the listing isn't the whole picture anymore, and what you can negotiate off is a whole lot more attractive for the buyers right now. Now there's one project happening right now that's making daily life here harder while pushing values up along one stretch of road. Real quick before we get into that, if you're interested in selling your home in the Surrey, Langley, White Rock, or surrounding areas, feel free to use the home evaluation tool by scanning the QR code on the screen. And if you'd rather get in touch the old-fashioned way, my contact info is in the description down below. All right, now let's get back to it. You're sitting on Fraser Highway at 8 in the morning, and there's only one lane and orange cones as far as you can see. The construction crews are moving, but your car isn't. The Surrey-Langley SkyTrain extension has turned long stretches of that road into a crawl, and some spots are running around the clock. As of July, the project's own traffic updates were still flagging closures and extended work hours at various locations along the line. On top of that, parts of it have been shut down for weeks at a time so crews can work without stopping. Pile driving and utility relocation near 200th Street and Industrial Avenue has been part of it too. If you're driving in from Clayton Heights or Cloverdale, you know that pinch point. You've been living with it for the better part of 2 years. So my advice, if you're moving to either of those spots in 2026, is plan for the detours. Test drive your commute at 8 in the morning on a Tuesday off when you don't have anywhere to be late to, but can still experience the full rush hour. That 1 hour, sometimes more, of homework will tell you more than any listing photo will. Now, here's what makes it worth sitting through. The Expo line stops at King George Station right now, and this 16-kilometer extension pushes it out to Langley City. Once it opens, that slow, packed drive turns into a train ride of about 22 minutes, and the market's already pricing that future in. Homes sitting within a short walk of the new station sites have been showing a nice appreciation premium over the rest of the city, and that's a pattern that holds up pretty much in every city that's gone through a transit build like this one. So the people stuck in the detours today, in a lot of cases, are the same people whose homes are climbing. And that's the trade you're willing to make when you buy along that stretch. Now, construction pain with a payoff at the end is one thing, but what about construction pain where the finish line keeps moving on you? Well, there's a project in Cloverdale that knows all about it. Behind that construction fencing in Cloverdale is a building that cost way more than it was originally budgeted for. The new Surrey Hospital and BC Cancer Centre going up out there is one of the biggest healthcare projects in the province. They first pegged it at roughly $1.66 billion, but the total now sits at around $2.88 billion. So yeah, they undershot it a little there. And the doors don't open until 2030. So if you're moving here in 2026 and healthcare matters to you, plan around Surrey Memorial for at least another 4 years. That emergency department is already one of the busiest in the province, and it keeps carrying all that pressure with no real relief coming this decade. That being said, what they're building is worth the wait. There's no doubt about that. It's going up as one of Canada's first fully electric hospitals with a major cancer center attached. And as of the middle of this year, the project was reported to be tracking on budget and about halfway built. It won't have a major trauma unit, so serious trauma cases will still go where they go today. But what it will do is handle a big volume of cancer care every year close to home for families who are driving into Vancouver for that treatment right now. So yeah, it's late and it's expensive, but I'd still call it the best thing happening to this city in over a decade. But there's another one where the numbers went the other way this year, and nobody in the district saw it coming. They opened a brand new school in Clayton. Within a year, there were portables sitting on the school field. That's been Surrey schools for as long as I've been doing this. The district keeps adding buildings just to keep pace with the fastest population growth in the province, and it still hasn't been enough. As of late last year, there were still around 350 portables in use, and they always seem to get built one size too small. Then 2026 brought something nobody planned for. Enrollment dropped by somewhere around 870 to 890 students for the school year. It's the first drop in over 2 decades. Trustees have been told to expect more of the same for the next few years, and officials point to changes in federal immigration policy and families moving to other provinces. Now, that came with a real cost. The district lost about $17 million in provincial funding because funding here follows the head count. But there's a flip side for parents though. Some of those portables are sitting empty now at schools that don't need them, and a few of the tightest catchments in South Surrey and White Rock have more room than they did 2 years ago. The relief isn't even across the board. The newer growth pockets are filling their buildings almost as fast as they open, while other areas loosen up. So if schools factor into your decision, check the specific catchment, not the district, because those are 2 different answers. And the long-range plans still call for a big wave of new schools over the next decade, tied right to the tens of thousands of homes already approved across the city. Surrey needs roughly 8,500 new homes a year to keep up with demand, so nobody's calling this a permanent slowdown. Walk into the right catchment right now and you'll find space that didn't exist 2 years ago, so that's worth an afternoon of your time before you write an offer. And speaking of things worth checking yourself, there's one subject where what people hear about Surrey and what the reporting shows have drifted a long way apart. Ask 10 people outside the Fraser Valley what they think of Surrey, and you'll probably hear the same handful of headlines from the past couple of years. Now, I'm not here to pretend those stories didn't happen. The extortion cases that dominated the news were real, and they were frightening and deeply unsettling for the families and the business owners affected. Early 2026 also saw an increase in crimes against people, according to crime statistics. But headlines only tell part of the story. They capture moments in time, not what it's actually like to live in Surrey every day. Now, the wider picture looks different. Surrey's crime severity index has been sitting below the BC average in recent reports and below Vancouver's. The city's own long-term crime trends show a mostly steady decline over the past decade. Property crime, auto theft included, has ticked down over the past year, which tells you something about the newer policing work that it might be working. And this is the part I want you all to hear. Surrey's a big city, and this is a neighborhood conversation. Guys, any city this size has a few pockets where you'd have to be more careful, and this one's no different. Fleetwood and Fraser Heights have held their reputations as some of the quieter, more family-focused areas in the Lower Mainland for years now. So when somebody sends me a headline and asks about Surrey, my answer is a question. What part of Surrey? Give me 5 minutes on the phone and you'll walk away with something more useful than a citywide number. Now, out of all the knocks this city takes, there's one I think is fair, and it's got nothing to do with cost, construction, or headlines. There's no spot in Surrey where you can park the car, leave it, and spend the whole evening on foot. So when people say that it basically has no downtown, I can't disagree. This place reads like a bunch of communities stitched together instead of one city, and things are very spread out. If you're coming from a walkable neighborhood in Vancouver, that's a real adjustment, and I'd rather tell you that now than have you figure it out after living here for a month or two. Now that being said, the Surrey Central area is definitely changing fast. SFU's Surrey campus has turned into a real research and innovation hub, teaming up with the city on new agri-tech work while holding onto its name as Canada's leaders in curricular innovation. Put that next to the towers going up around Central City, and you've got an identity here that didn't exist 5 years ago. The old City of Parks branding is giving way to something closer to a working urban tech core. And underneath all this is the change I think that matters most. The jobs themselves are moving out of downtown Vancouver because Surrey and Langley keep pulling in serious industrial and logistics employers. The Campbell Heights Business Park straddling both cities has a big Walmart distribution center that's been running for years, and Toyota Canada just confirmed plans for a new BC Parts distribution center in South Campbell Heights. So you don't have to cross the Port Mann Bridge to build a career here anymore, because now the work is coming to you. That's the single biggest reason the long-term case for the city still holds up, even with the detours, the late hospital, and the portables in the schoolyards. Every growing pain in this city has a date attached to it, and the people who know those dates are the ones buying in the right areas right now. Everybody else is shopping for a version of Surrey that already came and went. So if you want to know which pocket of Surrey or Langley fits your timeline before the next phase of construction shifts the map again, send me an email at info@moteam.ca and I'll go through it with you street by street. And if you've settled on Surrey but you can't pin down the neighborhood, I've linked a video here where I break them all down by life stage and the areas that everyone's rushing into that might be the weakest long-term bet. Thanks for watching. We'll see you again in the next one.